Chapter 7 Princess Gui. When Lianhua came back from Yu City, there was a new legend about him in the martial arts world. It was said that he knew how to use medicine like a genius. The strange case of the sunset pearl robe was now famous, in which Zongjong Mingzhuo murdered his fiancée and the Yu couple's relationship had fallen apart. Zongjong Mingzhuo was arrested and brought to justice by Bu Chenghai and Hua Rushui. He was an official, so he was imprisoned in the criminal ministry. As for Yu Mulan and Yun Jiao, they were both a part of the martial arts circle, so they were handed over to Baichuan Court. Baichuan Court was an organization that was founded 10 years earlier. It was originally built to uphold justice by the Sogu sect, who was against the evil Jinyuan alliance 10 years ago. Later, the Jinyuan alliance fell apart. Li Xiangyi, the head of the Sogu sect, and Di Feisheng, the leader of the Jinyuan alliance, both disappeared after a battle at sea. After that, the Sogu sect disbanded. The young heroes of the Sogu sect who eradicated the Jinyuan alliance 10 years ago had all entered middle age now. Those who had retired had gradually lost their reputation, and those who had not retired had married and had children, establishing their own sects and schools. Only the Baichuan court remained of the once prominent Sogu sect. Because of the admiration for the Sogu sect back then, it had become the sole court of justice in the martial world, judging the merits and demerits of the traders from various sects and factions, and imposing punishments. There were 4 prominent people in Baichuan court. Those were Ji Hanfo, Yuan Biqiu, Bai Jiangchun, and Shi Shui. These 4 people used to be Li Xiangyi's right and left hands. After 10 years, they had become the current heroes of the new generation of the martial arts world disciples yearned for. However, after Li Xiangyi lost the battle on the ship against Di Feisheng, the 2 men had disappeared. And so, though he was the leader of the now famous Baichuan court, Li Xiangyi had gradually been forgotten. Once Yu Mulan and Yun Jiao entered Baichuan court, they would definitely receive the most fair judgment. Li Lianhua carried his blue satchel with the printed flowers, and slowly returned to the small road in Pingshan town. From a long way away, he saw a person swaying soulfully as he recited a poem to the Lotus House. My dearest friend leaves me, departing west of the capital. Sorrow fills my spring-bound soul, reluctant to awaken. From now on, no one will visit this poor and ailing man. Only horse hooves and carriage tracks upon the green grass remain. Suddenly, the person turned his head. When he saw that Li Lianhua had come back, he was shocked. So the fraud is back. Aren't you dead yet? Li Lianhua looked at this person and sighed slightly. This bookworm was Shi Wenjue, known as the beautiful-headed poor classic, and was also the first living person dug out of the ground by Li Lianhua. Shi Wenjue was the opposite of Fang Duobing. Fang Duobing was skinny and looked like he was always starving. Though he bragged about being a handsome young master, he really was just very sickly and pale. Though Shi Wenjue was known as the pale-faced scholar, he had a very sunburned face. You haven't gone insane yet, so why would I die? Shi Wenjue mocked. He sighed, tilting his head to look at Li Lianhua. I heard the story of Li Lianhua catching ghosts, and suddenly I felt very sad for you. Li Lianhua smiled slightly. Ah? Although you're a liar who can't heal diseases, and your martial arts skills are no good, at least you're not a fool, Shi Wenjue said. If you suddenly turn into a madman in a few years, I will be very upset. Li Lianhua also sighed. I also feel that I'm doing pretty well. If that day comes, remember to shed 2 tears for me so that I won't be sad. The 2 looked at each other, sighed in unison, and couldn't help but start laughing as they entered the Lotus House together. Li Lianhua's hand, heart, and intestine meridians had been severely injured. These 3 meridians were known to have a great impact on the brain. Damage to them would lead to mental decline, hallucinations, and eventually madness, and there was no medicine to cure it. Only Shi Wenjue knew about this matter, and he prayed a lot for Li Lianhua in private. The man was indeed a liar, and there were many cunning thoughts hidden under that smiling face that Shi Wenjue often couldn't figure out. But it was because of this that Shi Wenjue couldn't imagine the feeling of waiting for oneself to turn into a madman. And obviously, Li Lianhua had a very comfortable life, which Shi Wenjue admired him for. What did you bring back? Shi Wenjue asked when he suddenly found a living thing in a cloth bag that Li Lianhua had carried in. What's in here, a mouse? Li Lianhua carefully took out a parakeet from the cloth bag. It's a bird, he said. Is this a parakeet or a love letter? Shi Wenjue smirked. Which young lady gave you a token of her love? It was raised by Yun Jiao. Li Lianhua smiled happily. It can sing. Do you want to hear it? Sing? Shi Wenjue looked with interest at the cute little parakeet with bright yellow feathers. Sure, make it sing a couple of lines. I'll listen. Li Lianhua patted its head, and it didn't take long for the bird to open its mouth. The moment the parakeet sang, Shi Wenjue jumped up in fright. Oh my God! What's all this ghostly screaming? It looks so cute, but how can it make such a terrifying sound? It sounds like a little demon. Shi Wenjue said when he heard the sound like the scream of a ghost. He clutched his chest with lingering fear. What's wrong with the poor thing? Li Lianhua touched the parakeet's beak tenderly. Its tongue was cut off by someone. I named it Princess Gui. I bet Fang Dobing would adore its singing. No, you must not let him see this thing. Shi Wenjue was taken aback. If you give this thing to him, he'll carry it around every night to scare people. After scaring the entire Fang family, he'll go and scare the Wu family, and then he'll make his way to Shaolin and scare them. Please, Lianhua, don't harm the martial arts world. Li Lianhua shrugged. Then should I give it to you? What? No, I don't want to have nightmares. But it's very cute, and it's easy to raise. It can live for 10 days while only requiring you to spend 1 yuan. It would be very cheap, Li Lianhua said, trying to convince his friend. Li Lianhua, are you kidding me right now? Nope, I will not take it.